When I click the button, okay, I have the object called sender and I have the event argument called E. Dear student, I can able to align and design the controls based on my wish. Both the numbers are in integer, so directly I can able to add and I'm going to store the output in sum. Hello to all, a warm welcome to my new session on introducing Windows Form. I'm your Revati ma'am, faculty from the Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram, First Grade College, MYSURU. Anyway, dear student, in my today's session, once again, I'm going to deal with Windows Form. Before that, let me to recall the topic what I have discussed in my previous session. So dear student, in my previous session, I started with how to add controls to a form. So what is form and what is the use of form? So dear student, if I consider early days, we are going to get the hard copy of the form and we have to fill the form. But nowadays, because of technology as well as programming language, we are going to get online form. Think that I'm going to write KCET exam. And when I visit the website, I'm going to get the form. Okay, now what is form? It's nothing but the electronic application form, and this form is designed in such a way that users are going to provide the input, and whatever the input they are going to provide, that is stored in the back end. And what is back end? That's nothing but the place where we can able to store the data. And what is the most commonly used backend? That is nothing but the database management system. That is either MySQL or DB2 or Oracle, etc. Now, what is form? It's nothing but the electronic form used to fill the data. Think that this is the form and I want to create a form. For example, I want to provide the field so that user can able to input their name. So here, what is name? That is nothing but the control label. Now, what about this box? That's nothing but the text box where user can able to input the data. Now, user want to enter the gender. So what I'm going to provide? I'm going to provide the check box. So what is the need of check box? User can able to select only one option. Then if I want to provide the qualification option, then I'm going to use radio button. So user can have many qualification, that is post graduation or undergraduation or doctorate, etc. So I want to provide multiple option to the user. Now, if user want to give the description, then I want to provide a text box with multiple lines so that user can able to give their opinion or description. So these are the some of the controls. Okay, these are the some of the controls. And what is this? This is the example for graphical user interface. So I'm going to design the form. I'm going to design attractive user interface by using some of the tools which is provided by the .NET framework. So dear student, in my last session, I started with group box. So dear student, if I want to group all the controls together, then I can able to use group box. Then to display the message, I'm going to use label control. To enter the data, I have text box. To fill the box or to tick the box, I have check box. And to submit the form, I'm going to have the control called button. So these are the certain things I have discussed in my previous session. But in my today's session, I'm going to deal with simple program. That is to add two numbers in C# using Windows form. So what is my program here? I want to read two input. That is two number. After that, what I want to do? I want to add both the number and I want to display the output. And what is the output? That is nothing but the summation. Now, let me to draw the sample Windows form here. Think that this is my Windows form. Okay, and according to the question, what are the things I required? I required two input data. So, one is nothing but number 1. So, where I am going to write the number 1? In the label control. And I am going to provide text box. Fine. Now, I am going to have number 2, okay, label and text box. Now, sum, once again label, and I can able to use label or text box to display the output. Now, I want to provide a control that is known as button, and where I'm going to write all the programs in my button. Okay, so this is the overview of this program. So I want to create a form. In that, I want to read two numbers. I want to add two numbers and I want to display the sum. Okay, fine. Now see here. What are the steps I need to follow here? That is creating a Windows form application and design the form as follows. So what I want to do? I want to go to the open Visual Studio. In the sense, I want to open the Visual Studio. In that, I want to select file. In that file, I want to select new project and it is Visual C#. In the sense, I want to select the programming language also and it is C# and select Windows Form application, because here I'm going to design a application which is going to run on computer as well as laptop. So it is Windows application form. Then I want to specify the name of the application and I'm going to click on OK button. So dear student, now let me to design the form. So this is the form after designing. See, this is my form and what is my form name? That is form 1. And see here, I have label 1, label 2, label 3, label 4 and I have text box 1, text box 2 and this is my button. So these are the certain controls I'm going to have here. Now, dear student, I want to change this label 1. Okay, fine. See, I want to change label 1 to first number. And where I'm going to change? For that, what I want to do, I want to place the mouse on the label 1 and I want to click right button. And when I click right button, I'm going to get the property. In the property, I want to select the text field and I want to change the text, that is first number. Okay, for the next label, it is second number. And for the label 3, it is result. Okay, it is result. Okay, fine. Then, okay, text, then colon, name, it is IBL result. In the sense, after adding two numbers, for example 10 and 20, okay, I want to display the result and where I'm going to display it is on the label. Okay, so I'm going to change the text. In that, I'm going to specify the name, and it is IBL result. Then see here, I have the button. Okay, and what is the button name? It is sum. Okay, I want to enter button name, and it is sum. And what is the name of the button? BTN sum. And if I consider text box, what is my text box name? That is text number 1 and text number 2. Now the designing part is over. Now what I want to do, I want to click this button. When I click this button twice, I'm going to get the coding part. See here, private void, it's nothing but the access specifier, void is nothing but the return type, and button sum dot click. It's an event, and what is the event? That's nothing but the user action. When I click the button, what's going to happen? That must be written here. Okay, so here button sum, and what is the event? When I click the button, okay, I have the object called sender, and I have the event argument called E. Okay, now see here, I have number 1, number 2 and sum. Okay, so here number 1 equal to convert dot 2 int 32. So dear student, whatever the input I'm going to read from the keyboard, that is in the form of string. So I want to convert that into integer. For that, I'm going to use the property called convert, and I'm going to convert string to integer, and it's of type 32-bit. Fine. And for number 2, once again, I'm going to convert number 2 into string. Fine. After that, what I want to do, I want to add number 1 and number 2. So here both the numbers are in integer. So directly I can able to add, and I'm going to store the output in sum. Okay, now IB result dot text equal to sum dot to string. So dear student, whatever the output I have, that is in the form of integer. Now I want to convert that into string. So here I'm going to use sum dot to string. And what's the output I'm going to get? If I consider this example, okay, see here, this is my final output, and this output is running. Okay, fine. See, first number, this is my label 1, second number, label 2. Okay, now this is my text box 1, and this is my text box 2. And see here, students, this is my sum. Sum is nothing but the button. So dear student, I can able to align and design the controls based on my wish. See here, okay, I can able to change the color, I can able to change the size of the font, style of the font, etc. And this is my another label result, and I'm going to display the output 30. So dear student, see, number 1 it is 10, number 2 it is 20, and sum. Okay, and when I click the button sum, what's going to happen? It's going to display the result. Anyway, dear student, in my today's session, I started with how to read two numbers and how to add two numbers using Windows form. So dear student, by using .NET programming language, we can able to develop different kinds of applications like Windows form application, web application, console application, class, library, etc. And it is left to the user to select what kind of application they are willing to design. Anyway, today's session I started with what is Windows form and how to design Windows form. So this is the rough representation of Windows form. Okay, now based on this, I'm going to design the Windows form. So this is the Windows form design, and this is the way I can able to set the property, and this is the code where I'm going to run. In the sense, when I click any button, what's going to happen? An event is going to trigger, and when the event is triggered, what I want to do, how to control the code, what are the operation I want to perform, everything must be written. Okay, fine. And this is the final output of this program. Anyway, dear student, in my today's session, I started with how to create a form and how to write a code. Anyway, dear student, in my next session, I'm going to deal with ADO.NET. What is ADO.NET? That is nothing but ActiveX data object. Anyway, dear students, let's meet in the next session with the new concept, that is ActiveX data object. Until that, keep watching and keep learning. Thank you.